Go on, man. You do your thing, alright?
Sete. Some people would be so fucking confused if they're this first time they've ever listened. Roll the intro, Morgan.
Ah! Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the Football Booth Podcast. My name is Fen, and I'm one of your main hosts. Joining alongside me, I've got my two favourite boys indeed. I've got Mayhem. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. You?
Good, mate. Good. And we got Cam. How you doing, sir?
Very good, thank you.
I mean, going by the shirt you're wearing, I guess I can say commiserations for Saturday.
I would be wearing a different one, but we won't talk about that.
No, we won't. Well, we're in June now. We had two cup finals that happened this week. Two English clubs involved. We had West Ham against Fiorentina midweek in the Europa Conference League final. And then, of course, we had the big slice of fried gold on Saturday. Shall we? Let's talk about the City and Inter game. Let's start off with that. I'm pretty sure we all had our eyes on it that Saturday night. Myself, I was out in the city with Kian and Stu, having a jolly, and as much as the game wasn't exciting, it was quite it was quite a heartfelt moment to see Kian, he's in his 40s now. He's an old boy, and we discuss all the time, 20 years ago they were amongst where Cardiff were really, back at Main Road and having away days at Gillingham and whatnot, and then to see them 20 years later lifting the Champions League trophy. I mean, he got very emotional, I must say. He'll probably hate me for saying that, but and then seeing him today as well, still on cloud nine. But boys, I mean, the game itself wasn't quite as spectacle as we anticipated it to be, and I mean, I think the big thing as well, they were playing on such an awful pitch as well. I don't know if you'd agree with me on that. Like, the pitch was pretty woeful itself.
Well, I don't know if anyone would feel the way they do about that game now. But yeah, it was. I don't know if it was. I wouldn't say that it wasn't unexpected. I mean, the last few have been tight games, PSG, Bayern, and I think I see the last two before have been by the odd goal. And we knew that Inter would be far better than the English media were making them out to be. They were always going to be robust. They were always going to be difficult to break down, as cliched as it is to say that about Italian teams. They obviously adopted that diamond press and pressed in the areas and decided to leave John Stones as the free man, which says it all about apparently the best ball playing defender ever in the world, ever.
He could play midfield as well, by the way.
Ever. But yeah, it was just a bit drab. I don't know if De Bruyne going off, had a huge impact on him, but they wasn't playing obviously fantastic before that. He did open them up, obviously, with the chance for Haaland. So maybe if he'd have been on the pitch later on, they would have had a wee bit more, attacking oomph. But yeah, it was a wee bit of a stalemate, and then one moment of composure and class. Rodgers tucks it in, and that was the difference. Although Inter spurned some wonderful chances, I'm sure they're looking back at that game and kind of scratching their head how they didn't at least get it to extra time.
One player is.
But they had some good chances that ultimately they've wasted. And the commentators were making out as if Edison was Oliver Kahn, Van der Sar, and Yashin rolled into one. I mean, the ball hits his leg and then he saves a flick on from a corner, and they're making it out to be the best saves in the world. So
it's the greatest Champions League save ever, He has no idea that it's going at him and he just moves his leg, but it's the greatest save ever. It's not the greatest miss, it's the greatest save.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends what side of the fence you're sitting on. Inter fans are going to say it was a glaring miss, and obviously City fans are going to...
I think if you utter the words that it's a cracking save, then you're just a little bit stupid. When you freeze it back and you see how much of the goal he has to aim for.
Yeah.
The only bit he can't score is where Edison is, and he puts it at Edison's foot.
Yeah.
When it's United, City were unlucky not to win against Chelsea, and fair play. They deserve a treble. They've been the best team in the world. And when you need a bit of luck. They've pumped teams in the competition. They get to a final. They haven't been great in the last two finals. I don't think the United one, they were poor to their standard. And this one, I think they'll look back, but they won it, and that's all that matters. Good teams find a way to win when they're not playing well. Rodgers steps up, and the team's always immortalised.
Yeah, Foden should have probably made it a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah,
as well. Takes it brilliantly, and from 8 yards out, manages to find the keeper. So
that's a better save, I think.
The big moments, City just performed better. It was a game of few moments, but City performed better, and Lukaku got a vital block in for City, and then missed the big chance. So, like I said, Inter will look back on that, I'm sure.
It was a better save than Edison's.
Oh yeah, I think he has a C-shirt under it, mate.
They honestly, they'll look back and wonder how they haven't, like I said, at least got to extra time. But like Cam said, sometimes things just go your way, and City had the rub of the green, and ultimately European champions have, they've finally got it done. Finally got that, the big one, the European trophy.
Yeah, first encounter between the two as well in history.
Hopefully it's the last as well. God, nah, it's unfair.
I think like City at the Etihad or at the San Siro in a group stage game would obviously be a lot more flamboyant. Those games are difficult, and that, we pointed out, the last couple have been very tight affairs where good teams haven't come to the forefront. I think it was, again, you look back at the Tottenham Liverpool one, that's only decided very, very late. Again, it was another poor game. It's very rare in a final you get.
No one wants to lose. That's the problem.
Occasion. Yeah, so it's cagey. It's everyone's playing safe.
Yeah.
You just wish maybe Inter had to come out of the blocks a wee bit more. Sort of before the
they
kind of went for it at the 82nd minute.
They had their chances. Edison has a very poor first half. And arguably, he gives the ball away to an Inter player on the throw-in. He should really do better. I think he should score. I think Inter should take the lead, and it's a whole different game at that point. But puts it wide.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they took a similar approach as they did against AC Milan in the semi-final when they won 2-0. Like they pressed early on in the first 15-20 minutes. Obviously, the difference between the City game and the Milan game is that they came away with 2 goals in those 15 minutes and then stepped off. But it felt like it was like a similar pattern as well, where we press them early on, and then invite pressure and just be cautious in terms of not being caught on the break whatsoever. I mean, because they were quite similar, where they would push DeMarco forward. Dumfries was going forward a lot as well, and so that really just left Bastoni and Acerbi, the other centre back.
They defended really well. I mean, you look at Bernardo Silva cuts in and has that chance early on, but apart from that, was never really in a dangerous area. I know he cuts the ball back in the end, I think, for the goal, but he wasn't really in many attacking positions. Jack Wilshere wasn't in any, really. Again, De Bruyne has that little moment with Foden, but they weren't really allowing City to get into advanced positions. So they defended well. The press was good. The energy was good in midfield. They just didn't have that bite up top. And although, like we said, Lukaku had his chances and squandered them.
Mane's a chance as well, isn't it, when he's running on, and Lukaku, I know you never know, but he should always pass it. He should give the ball to Lukaku out, but he shoots and nothing comes of it.
I think Lukaku, matched up against Diaz far better, and they got a lot more success out of that duel than they did from Dzeko. But yeah, the game, to maybe quote Michael Owen, the game's about putting the ball in the net. That sounds like something he'd say.
I said it.
If you don't score goals, you ain't gonna win games.
A couple inches to the left, it would have been a great penalty, but it's not on target, unfortunately.
And That's it. That's the fine margins. They don't take the chances, and obviously they were made to pay.
No, exactly. And then the bigger picture itself is City coming away with the historic treble that we haven't seen been achieved since United back in 1999. Where does that really now put Guardiola amongst the greats?
Oh, he's the second best of all time, 100%.
Behind Fergie, yeah.
Oh yeah, but on the treble, can people just need to? They've both done it. Just leave it at that. Not one's better than one, and one's better. But people comparing these trebles, they've both done it in different areas of football. Just leave it at that. Like, oh, see, you've brought it. Oh, behave yourself. Chelsea fans are saying that. Like, you shouldn't be talking about money. You shouldn't be like that. They've both done it. Pep spent less money than Man United and Chelsea since he's been at City. So the money talk is stupid. They've both won trebles, put them in it, done, twisted, done. They're as good as each other. No one's better because no one won more trophies.
Yeah.
Because they've won more league titles and all this. It's stupid. It's a stupid argument. It's a great achievement. Not one has to be better than the other.
And it's not like either one of them have won the Invincibles or anything like that, Cam.
No, it's not exactly because that's you don't want a treble. You want to go undefeated. Simple.
And I think the whole buying it, like United fans make out as if they done it with 11 Mancs that were basically on United's
But they
doorstep.
did. Come on,
Well,
mate.
they didn't with 11 Mancs.
With one from Manchester as the manager, the ball
Like-
boy from Manchester. They didn't spend any money, mate. I don't know what
If
about.
you was to fast forward 99 and look at the players that they had, obviously the Peter Schmeichels and the Jaap Stams and the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming on, they brought Dwight York that season.
Mate, no,
Throw them into a modern market.
they're all from Manchester.
How much would they cost? So
They didn't buy anyone.
the money talk's always been around City, obviously, and it'll continue to be around City, obviously, because they've these charges coming up and that. So it'll always be there. But yeah, both historic trebles. The only thing I think United have take away from it is only one team does it once. That should be what you're focusing on, rather than the money that's been spent. And sometimes
it's modern football. Like, it's Man United are going to go compete with that team that they have. No, you're going to go spend, throw a load of money at a problem you can't fix because you ain't got a good enough manager. It's
harsh.
It's not though, is it? He's won a Capital One Cup.
I think he's a decent manager. I think well, the rumours are Maguire doesn't want to leave and stuff like that. So
sack him, just sack him.
Yeah, he may struggle to.
Yeah, it's like Phil Jones. Phil Jones doesn't want to leave. Like, didn't want to give Varane the number 4 shirt because he thinks he'll get back into the squad. Like, who's he kidding?
You think the money they're on? Why would they leave?
But to circle point round, I think it's Ferguson in my opinion still. It'll be Pep, but realistically, if Pep goes for another 10 years, it probably will be Pep. If he stays at that City team, I don't really see him not improving that team, circling players in and out again. If he wins another treble, then you can't argue the fact that it's got to be Pep.
It'll be something that'd be really hard to repeat. Like we said, like it's been over 20 years now, 14 years, 24 years to be exact.
Well, look, trebles are not easy in any league. It doesn't matter. You've only got to look across to Serie A and the dominance that obviously Juve have had and never got it done. Bayern Munich and they don't always get it done. So a treble in any league is incredible.
It's his second one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he done it with. No, it's his third one. I think, isn't it? His third treble.
I mean, in City, he won the FA Cup, the Capital One Cup.
Did he not do it with Bayern?
No, he didn't. Obviously.
Oh no, I'm not talking. I'm just talking for City. He's got like 3 or 4.
Did he not do? I think he did
Barca.
two with Barca. And then
he's the only manager to beat Jock Stein's record of winning He's won 6 when Jock Stein won 5. Barcelona are the only team to win more trophies than Celtic did when we did 1967 and we won everything. Barca had 6, we had 5. So he's the only manager to win every single thing he was in. 6 cups. I don't know how they were in 6, but he's the only manager to have done that. So
I've not seen that stat anywhere.
Yeah, The Barcelona team won 6 one year.
What did they win?
Let me find it. I know he does hold it.
All the stats that I've seen was Celtic were at the top. They were quoting it as a quadruple, even though it was a quintuple. Or how do you say 5? I don't know.
Yeah, it was. We won 5. And
So what? So those 5 trophies were the League Cup, the Cup,
FA
Champions
Cup.
League,
I think back then there was like the Glasgow Cup or something as well.
Yeah,
Glasgow
there was.
Cup as well. Because in Spain, so you got the La Liga, you got the Copa del Rey, Champions League.
Do they have the Super Cup?
They got the European Super Cup and
The Club World
in the
Cup?
season.
Club World Cup, and then I think there's a Spanish Super Cup as well, like a Community Shield equivalent.
I mean, you start counting Community Shields if you're Leicester, don't you? Apart from that.
That's probably one they've actually counted though. You looking it up, Cam?
Yeah.
He's
He's
looking it up.
searching away. Why he's doing that? Who was paying attention to? Can you name the player that has won both of his Champions League winners' medals in Istanbul at that stadium?
Both his Champions League medals at that stadium.
Bearing in mind that there's only been 2, and I'll give you the games. One was Saturday, and the other one was obviously AC Milan versus Liverpool.
Won both.
Won both his Champions League medals. So he got one on
Scott
Saturday.
Carson.
Yeah, Scott Carson played 90 minutes in a quarter-final for Liverpool. Played absolutely nil minutes for City.
Yeah.
And he has picked up 2 Champions League medals.
Yeah, it was that home tie against Juventus he played in. Yeah, I remember.
Both in Istanbul.
Oh.
Dig it out, and put it in the holy grail of pub questions, because in 10 years, people will be scratching their balls trying to figure that out. Like,
Who's won the most trophies?
Dad, I hope you're listening. Yeah, I don't know what he's going to tell his grandkids in the future, that's for sure.
They're going to think he's the best thing ever. They're like, let's see you play. And they go, yeah, put it on. There's me on the bench. I'm in the bib. They go, okay, can we see the one from 2005? Yeah. That's me in the bib.
Do you have any games that you have?
Yeah.
Granddad?
Quarterfinal. Look at me on loan at West Brom.
I was wrong. There's apparently 2 teams to have won a sixth, or whatever the fuck they've called it, a sixpence. FC Barcelona and Bayern Munich are the only 2 teams to have achieved the sixteenth. Whatever that is, 6 trophies, I'm guessing.
The sextuple?
Sextuple. How has Bayern Munich done it?
How the fuck have Bayern done it?
I don't know. They have a few.
They have a Super Cup. They have the
Yeah.
Super Cup. They have the Bundesliga. They have the Deutsche Pokal.
That's the one.
Pep won it with Liga, Copa del Rey, Super Cup, blah blah blah. The Champions League, the Super. So they have a Spanish. So all 3 Spanish cups and the Super Cup and the FIFA Cup, World Cup. So that's how they've done their 6. And then,
Yeah, so the UEFA Champions League, UEFA Super Cup, UEFA World Cup, and
yes,
then they had the Spanish Super Cup,
Mm-hmm.
Copa del Rey, and then the
Bayern
La
Munich.
Liga.
Yeah, Bayern Munich done it with the 3 European Cups and the 3.
Oh, they did it as well with the Super Cup,
So
the Club World Cup, Champions League.
So they are basically counting their Community Shields equivalent in there.
Yeah, basically. But I'm sure if City had won the Community Shield this year, they'd be counting it as well.
Oh yeah, massively, mate.
They'd be calling it a quadruple.
Oh, they will be, yeah. Yeah, wait till August and see what happens.
Well,
then,
if they do that and then they win the Capital One Cup, oh, mate. No.
And then they win the Super Cup and they win the World Cup, the Club World Cup.
Do they even
So
play that?
it's got to be a calendar year you're talking about then.
Yeah.
Because it can't be a season. So that's why they talk about Celtic as the quadruple, because it was in a season.
Yeah.
But Barca or Bayern are doing it in a calendar year.
That's it.
I still think it's still once.
But because you can't win the Champions League and then win you can't win the Club World Cup without winning the Champions League. So you'd have to win that in May or June, and then obviously compete at that in December or whenever the fuck it gets played.
Yeah, it's like November, December when it gets played.
It's still a great achievement.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But it still remains that only one team has captured that quadruple. I mean, we can transition over to me crying now if you want, because the rumours are that Brendan Rodgers was spoken to in Mallorca
Oh shit.
yesterday, and the head of finance and recruitment, Nicholson, and I forget the other fella's name, but was out there, and the rumours are that he's flown into London today to complete the move, accept the offer from Demet Desmond. So it's looking ominous.
Sack them all. Fuck them.
Yeah, just...
fuck the club then. If they're gonna put him back in charge, fuck the board.
Well, it's always been the way of the board, isn't it? I just don't understand it. I really don't. From a football coach perspective, yeah, fine, but from where he left us last time, people are quoting him as like he's won 7 out of 7 trophies. Well, yeah, if he'd have waited, he'd have had 9 out of 9. He went out the back door to fucking Leicester.
This is some absolute fucking bang out. This is something that Tottenham would do. Like bang average shit. What are they playing at?
What would Brendan Rodgers like? Is there any way back for him in your good books at all?
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if he wins the European Cup. Wouldn't give a shit if he won the Champions League next year. You don't do that. Don't do the way. They don't accept the way of that. No, there's nothing that man can do.
Well, obviously, if he's, obviously maybe it would definitely calm if he's appointed, then you back the club.
Yeah.
But I'm baffled as to how we're here, and how we haven't at least gone and spoken to your man at Bodo Glint, or spoken to a few of the other candidates that would that would have been potentially interested. Graham Potter basically said he thinks his next job will be in the Premier League, so he ruled himself out. And then I think that the problem, a lot of people that are doing the U-turns are seeing this boy Pep's assistant at Maresca, or whatever his name is. He's obviously the other name that's linked. And obviously his time at Parma was an absolute nightmare. So I just don't know quite how we've boxed ourselves into Brendan Rodgers or this guy when, the rumours are with 30 million to spend, with one of the best squads that a Celtic manager would ever inherit coming into the club, with UEFA Champions League group stage football. I just don't quite know how we've ended up here. And let's be honest, Brendan Rodgers is only coming back to build himself up and leave again. The only reason that he walks back in through those doors is because with Champions League football, he wouldn't be taking the risk. Otherwise, he wants to put himself on a European platform, win trophies, and open himself up to, he's obviously some Postecoglou who's ended up at Tottenham, and open himself up to another move. He'll come motivated. He has to do well in Scotland. If he doesn't do well in Scotland, or he loses to Michael Beale, that's him done as a top coach. That'll be it completely. So he'll have to come and he'll have to perform. So he'll be motivated. But I just don't get how we've ended up here.
No, and like you said, this is an opportunity for him to revitalise his career. It's not the same situation with Graham Potter where he got sacked at Chelsea, but got sacked due to poor results. But Brendan Rodgers took Leicester down, and it's just a completely different situation between the two of them. And yeah, by all means, it's looking to be the sense that Brendan Rodgers is going back to Celtic because they're available and that they haven't explored any other options around them, like you just mentioned a few names just there, and it just makes fit for him. And hypothetically, he could go and be successful the following season, and perhaps.
I think Brendan Rodgers coming back almost guarantees domestic success.
Yeah.
I think, I think that's the feeling among most people. I think honestly, Rangers fans are looking on. I think the one person they don't want us to get is Brendan Rodgers because of yes, he had a poor season with Leicester, but he also won the FA Cup with Leicester. He finished fifth with Leicester twice, but all the Champions League in there as well. But he just has a time frame. He doesn't have longevity at a football club. So
No.
we're gonna get 2 years out of him, and then
A
he's
Premier
gonna
League
move on.
club is going to become available. It's...
Yeah, and look, and obviously the rumours are floated about, but what makes me just almost sick to my stomach, right, is like Ange leaving hurt. It did hurt, and any Celtic fan that tells you it didn't is just talking absolute shit. So it hurt seeing him obviously leave and pass up the chance of having another crack at Champions League, but obviously the pull of the Premier League was too much. The way that people have reacted, saying he's no different from Brendan Rodgers, are the same people that said if Brendan Rodgers stayed to the end of the season, he would have left with everyone's blessing. Ange Postecoglou come over here on his own, won 5 out of 6 trophies when the club was in an utter fucking mess, and has sealed a double and a treble and left the club in a far better position financially, the playing squad, the structure of the club, than he found it. That's what you can look to do as a manager. Like no one's going to be Sir Alex Ferguson. That's never going to happen again. No one's going to be Arsene Wenger. That shit ain't going to happen. And no one's going to spend fucking 10 years at a football club. So the best that you can hope for as a manager is when they come into your club, they end up leaving the club in a better position than they found it. And he's done that tenfold. Now, with an asterisk next to that shit, there's absolutely no fucking room for sentiment here. If he wants to come back for Hatate, if he wants to come back for Jar, right, then he's paying a fucking premium. Hatate, 25 million or fuck off down the road. You've got the the riches of the Premier League now. Jota 30 million or fuck off down the road. Kyogo 30 million or fuck off down the road. There's no room for sentiment. I don't give a shit if that he brought him and he's there playing all this bollocks now. Fuck that shit. There's no room for sentiment. You want them, you're paying the absolute top price or fuck off down the road and go and explore every market that's open to you now. So there's no room for those sentiments. But for people to be slagging him, it's just ridiculous. Of course, it hurt him leaving, but he's come. He's won the league, with games to spare. He's then gone and secured our 8th world record-breaking treble. Amazing stuff. So yeah, the whole thing, people saying he's the same as Brendan and all this, like, they can fuck off and all. Like,
nah, it's just it's pure bitterness and being
same
fickle.
People that were saying if Brendan had stayed on and won the treble and left, he'd have gone with everyone's wishes. All this shit. You know what I mean? The same people that fucking hammer KT and there's a lot that happened with the Tierney deal that was never made public, and the way the club handled the situation was poor, and ultimately meant us losing a lifelong Celtic fan that has many good many big friends at the club, and was a fantastic player, and we lost him through that. So the Celtic is a wee bit different from most clubs. The passion that gets obviously affiliated, but sometimes it can just all turn a wee bit sour.
It boils over, doesn't it?
And I'm saying that, and then on the other hand, I'm probably guilty of it because I just can't see any sense in bringing this rat back to the football club. Yes, there'll be domestic success, but I'm quite sure that we could have gone and appointed a number of managers that would have brung domestic success. So, just seems odd.
Yeah, I think it was under the circumstances that Brendan left, and it's still left, understandably, a big sour taste in your mouth and a lot of Celtic fans' mouths. And yeah, by all means, it's going to be difficult for him to get back in the good books amongst the Celtic faithful. By all means.
Well, I think it's split, mate. I think a lot of people would just accept him coming back. If he comes back, a lot of people would just kind of write it off. And
they're probably the Celtic fans that have never seen anything else than success, and don't they? It doesn't. Celtic shirts don't fit second best players. They don't fit second best managers, and that is a disgrace to any person that's managed or captained the club that they have brought Brendan. And if they bring Brendan Rodgers back, then it's a disgrace you can walk out and go to a bang average team like Leicester who are fucking nothing. You've gone to a team you think the Premier you've gone for money. You've won an FA Cup. That's nothing. The Community Shield, you got relegated. That's your 10 years there. You could have stood at Celtic, won a quadruple treble, won a treble, and gone into Europe again and actually made yourself and been looked at the same
He
way.
would never have gone into Europe again. Like less, he would. The most we would have got out of him was a treble, and then he would have been away. You know, it was revealed that Leicester were willing to wait to the end of the season. Brendan didn't want to wait, and away he went.
Yeah,
and that's and we know the crack, right? What if Brendan has success in his first season, and then fucking Brighton come calling? What happens? He goes.
Fucking mate. If we bring him back and he wins trophies, ain't fucking trophies under. I don't give a shit. Won't watch them.
You don't watch him anyway, mate.
Well, be me done.
you may as well be a United fan.
It'd be me done with the club until he's gone. Simple as.
Obviously, you know, for me, you know, the club's far bigger than I think it is for 99% of the fan base as well. But so you know, the backing will be there. The season ticket sales will tell that. You know, obviously, the attendances, but yeah, it seems short-sighted by the board. We'll be in this position again in 18 months, 24 months when inevitably Wolves or whatever come. You know, it's obviously been confirmed that Ange knocked back Brighton and Wolves and someone else during the season. So we didn't. All these people saying that the first chance he's jumped ship is again just bullshit. He's not back 3 Premier League clubs. Brandon doesn't do that. Not a chance. Brighton come knocking, he's away. Or 6th in the Premier League when they were. See you later.
yeah, exactly.
The call pops up from the Brighton owners, mate. He's taking that call in fucking South London. He's already on the train down. Like, there's no way, and we know that's how it goes. So, will he come back and will we be winning domestically? I think we will be, but will there be any progression? I doubt it. You know, his record isn't great in Europe, not with Leicester, not with us.
No one's record is the Celtic though. That's the problem. That's the next step.
But were we competitive in Europe under Brendan? Not really. At least with Ange, you know, you could see something building. We
Didn't.
Oh, more than Brendan Rodgers though.
We were decent in games. You know,
You don't win games for being decent.
I know. I'm not saying we did. I'm just saying that we were more competitive.
The problem is, and it boils down to the money's not in Scottish football. We're not good enough to be in the Champions League. We're really not.
No, we're not good enough to win it. We're good enough to be in it. No. We should have beat Shakhtar Donetsk home and away, which would have, you know, so Shakhtar Donetsk not good enough to be in.
No.
Mate, it's the Champions League. It should be the champions from every fucking thing.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be the 4th team from fucking England. Like that's not how it should be. And like if we get 3rd in the group and we go into the Europa League and have a crack at that, happy days. But I just don't think that. I don't know. But we'd have to say I just don't feel confident in the way that Brendan would set up that he would. We'd see. I don't know. Apparently, there's 30 million on the table. Obviously, a big thing before was he wasn't backed. Apparently, I don't know if I agree with that, but it just feels underwhelming. Apparently, it's scheduled for tomorrow, so yeah. Hold on. Seems like the rat's back.
But going from one European competition to another, we saw West Ham come away with
They're
European
massive,
glory. Yeah, they are fucking massive. Knowlesy loving life right now.
Massive in East London, nowhere else.
But a 2-1 victory over Fiorentina in the Conference League final. And I believe it's their first European honour they've won in over 50 years. Is it 68 years?
Something like that.
Yeah, since they won the World Cup, I heard.
Fuck off with that shit. Maybe they can actually stop saying that pish now.
No, they're still going on about that. Congratulations to them, mate. There's no more you can say.
Yeah.
Anyone that says it's a Mickey Mouse, it's a European honour.
Yeah, I hate this shit as well. Like it's a Mickey Mouse competition. Like fuck that.
It's
right.
European.
Roma won it last year, and West Ham, right? They've had a shit season, like obviously this year and that. But Fiorentina, are a big club in Italy, like Roma, massive club that won it before. You know,
I hate Fiorentina for some reason. I don't know why.
like it's not like I know that Basel could have been in the
They're
the
massive,
final
mate.
and that, but like it is a European competition that just lets like why should it always be the same boring fucking teams?
And that is the thing.
Like Seville just swallowing Europa leagues. Who gives a fuck? Unless you support Seville, and obviously you'd be over the moon and you love having that record. But who gives a fuck? Who didn't want Roma to win that? Only literally Sevilla fans, and apparently Thogden, because he was in the Sevilla end.
Of course he fucking was. Why?
How much of a narcissist do you have to be to take a fucking European Cup final ticket off of an actual fan? Like, you're there in the Seville end and have literally taken that, like you've snatched away the goalie glove from a fucking child, you absolute cockbite, because you didn't get your day out at Wembley because Bolton is shit. Actually, the fact he was at Celtic Madrid as well makes me fucking throw up.
I don't even know who this kid is, mate.
It's a fucking dick, but
no.
it was another shit game, as most finals are.
I fell asleep for it and woke up to this guy news as a channel they had won it.
It was more of an exciting outcome, like a last minute winner from Jarrod Bowen.
Great story for Bowen, like
brilliant throw from the West Ham fan with that fucking vape as well that smacked the kid's head open.
It was a cup.
No, it was a vape, mate.
Unless a vape is literally the size of a cup and looks like a cup.
Mate, it was a vape. There's a picture of the ref holding it in his hand. I don't know what more you want from me.
I watched the game when you were sleeping, mate. It was a fucking cup.
And I see the picture. So your point is, what
How many times can you be proven wrong in your life?
Oh, here we go.
Like, you talk among yourself while I find the.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but yeah, the outcome of the game. Yeah, Bowen's on fire and he's shagging Danny Dyer.
Yeah, I didn't quite get it until someone told me that he was with Danny Dyer's daughter.
Yeah, no, that's what it is.
Good for him, mate.
You see Danny Dyer getting interviewed after the game, and he starts
the song sometimes, mate. It's
exactly.
Weird. Do they lock eyes? Like, bit fucking wrong, and if you ask me, but fair enough. West Ham have won something now that they'll be like, oh, we've won more trophies than Tottenham. Let's see the little kid there. Like, we've won more. No, you haven't. Shut up, you little cunt. Oh, we've won more titles. No, you haven't. Even in your lifetime, it's still 1-1 because we've won a Carling Cup. Jermaine Genius, I don't know if you've heard about him. He won it. So, yeah.
Has he?
He has. But
so is it the similar system as to when you win the Europa League? You're going straight into the with the Europa League, you go straight into the Champions League.
Yeah, they're in the Europa League. It's 3 years in a row for West Ham. I'm over the moon. Realistically, I'm over the moon for David Moyes. Finally winning something as a manager.
Massive for David Moyes, yeah.
Couldn't be happier.
We can't get a still image, but literally all the news reportings: Fiorentina star left cut and bloodied as West Ham fans launch beer cup missiles.
Beer cup missiles, but it doesn't say him. So unless the picture, I don't believe it. No,
yeah, mate. West Ham fans just threw this at me. It's great.
You suck it, you little fucking slut.
What are you smoking a cup for?
No, it's a great achievement. West Ham 3 years in a row. Moyes there, doing what Moyes does.
Yeah, thank fuck he's staying at West Ham, and because he was linked with us.
Oh, I'd take David Moyes in a heartbeat over that fucking rat fart.
I'm just looking at the facial expression from Joel.
He saved himself a bit when he said over that, but actually taking David Moyes, you must not like football.
And honestly, you would take Brendan Rodgers the way he left the club.
No, that's what I said. You saved yourself. Yeah, from a football perspective, there's no doubt who's going to play the better football. It's just obviously the.
I don't give a fuck. It's like saying, oh, you can have a wife that'll cheat on you, but you can have an ugly girl that'll never cheat on you. I'd rather the ugly girl. What's the point? He's a dick, bro. Cut that. Fucking helmets. It just doesn't. I hope you're wrong. I hope they don't appoint him, but
I hope I'm wrong as well, but it looks ominous.
Fucking...
Well, someone who said that they are out the door is Declan Rice.
That was funny. Like all the West Ham fans, you won't leave. Give him another 10 years. Ooh. Next day at 9 o'clock. On West Ham. Yeah, of course you are, mate.
Where do we realistically, where do we see Declan Rice ending up at?
Bayern.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it, Brian? Like, there's not many English players that go overseas and do well.
Oh, in Hargreaves asked, so I thought we were playing tic-tac-toe, sorry.
Doesn't work. There's rumours of Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal have the money for him. And then City have somehow thrown their name, because I imagine City are linked with everyone.
I don't think City need him.
Oh, no, they don't. They didn't need Calvin Phillips, but they just brought him to sit on the
Yeah, then he's going to be
medal.
fucking out the door this
Got free,
summer
mate.
and all, won't he?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, he looks like he's become accustomed with some Manchester chicken shops.
Some jam donuts.
But,
I want to say on Declan Rice, I think he's bang average, and I don't quite understand the hype this kid's got.
yeah, I agree. But I think, I mean, in your footballing career, like let's be honest. Like, how many chances will he have to move to an English club? If it all goes wrong at Bayern, does he have a chance to come back and come to a top Premier League club? Yes, because he's English. So you'll get that opportunity. But like you said, I mean, how many English players can you name that have gone and played for Bayern Munich? And I just think that the lure of playing for a massive European club, massive European heavyweight, like almost guaranteed to be in the quarters, semi-finals of the Champions League and really compete to win it. I can't see how he says no to that, even if it's Arsenal or Chelsea. I just don't see how he can say no to that proposition.
But
No, exactly.
West Ham are massive, so
In East London,
I don't know, mate.
in fucking Green Street. Apart from
They're
that,
massive, mate.
Petey and Bother were banging about Fiorentina getting beat.
They're massive. No, fair enough. Let the kid do what he wants to do. Let him live, mate. Let him live. How was Mason Mount getting a move to Man United? How was he wound that way?
Is that set in stone?
Apparently so. I read something earlier about it. Yeah, look, Man United expected to make a formal bid for Chelsea midfielder Mason Mount.
In some other transfer news, Ryan Kent landed at
Fenerbahce, way!
That is
Premier League player, my arse.
That is FIFA player career mode all over it.
Yeah, banging kebab.
Force a move, and then realise on coming up to the deadline that no one's bid for you, and you need to take the next offer, otherwise you're staying at the same club.
Could be worse. You could drive yourself to a different training ground thinking you're getting a bid, think you're getting a move, and then go back to the club and never play for them again.
Barahino, what a legend.
Oh boy.
I know Odin Wingy that did that.
So the Wingy, wasn't
No,
it?
did he not get the move though? Like Barahino literally tried to force it through and never played again.
No, yeah, that was it. Odin Wingy thought he was going to QPR and he was in the car park, wasn't he? In his car and taking interviews, yeah.
Tottenham are in the lead running for the Brentford goalkeeper as well.
That David Raya, yeah.
Can't wait for us to fuck that one up. That'd be brilliant.
Mate, Brentford may fuck it up, mate. He's in there asking for 40 million.
And the guy's out of contract next season.
I'd give him 40 million just to see Lloris playing goal again.
He is not a £40 million goalkeeper.
If you're going to pay 40 million, right, then just go buy the Inter keeper.
I'd pay 440
You'd go out and get Andre Onana, not fucking David Raya.
Nah.
Even the boy from AC, he's been linked, hasn't he?
Oh, mate, anyone's better than Hugo Lloris. I can't take
his
another
name?
season.
You'll know it,
Mignon.
Mignon was his name,
he's
yeah.
got an inner fan. He's a friend, isn't he? So that's why he knows it.
Need a lot, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, mate. Need a new spine.
Don't need a goalkeeper, you got Fraser Forster.
Oh, yeah, true.
Big list.
I was in the pub Friday. We went down to the pub to watch. Jack met a couple of his old bricklayer friends, And it's like a really old pub in Dartford, and it's fucking geezer with like one tooth still fucking chirps on our Tottenham are a big club. And he's going, oh, that Postecoglou, where you can win a treble at Celtic is a pile of piss. Yeah, that's why there's been 8 done, mate. Yeah, it's cracking logic. He'll struggle with a bigger club. I left the treble. I was like, fucking, what are you drinking there, son? Foster's. Ironic.
Copperberg, probably.
So, fuck are you on about bigger club? What have they won recently? Like, use a bang average. You just need to rein it in. Rein it in, Tottenham fans. It's embarrassing now. Win something.
I love how you're saying you, but what you really should be saying is we.
Ah, fucking mate. It's owned them. Fucking can't be dealing with that bollocks. Like, yeah, you haven't you don't challenge for anything.
I think, honestly, I've said this. I don't see Harry Kane as a Postecoglou player, though. I think Harry Kane will go in and play Son through the middle. Easier to find a winger than a striker.
United aren't interested, are they? So
I think that's a ploy, mate. Why would they not be?
I don't know, because Baldy doesn't know football. Wants big workhorse up there again.
Apparently, Wakehorse is linked with Everton. I don't know what the fuck.
Oh, they are so going down next season if they're going to buy fucking Weghorst.
So I want to see it.
Mate, he's going to be in the Premier League either way. He's going back to fucking Tim Pot Burnley.
I want to see it though. He's such a Sean Dyche player. I can imagine him getting the best out of him.
I think it was him who bought him as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
See?
Although I've seen that Moussa Dembele is linked to Everton as well.
Which one? Because it's like 7.
The striker that was with us and went to Lyon. He's a free agent.
Oh wow!
Didn't work out.
It's like Everton, someone else, and then Saudi Arabia, of course.
Mate, they're cleaning the house, mate.
Potential Rodgers Dembele reunion.
You've been on Twitter too much, mate.
I just thought of it now.
I can't see him coming back with Rodgers. It wasn't on the best terms, shall we say? By the
that building is out of playing now. It's Moussa Dembele, mate. It's out of Park.
Well, speaking of Saudi, we see that out the Saudi champions Al Ittihad, who have won the league, have now gone and picked up Benzema and N'Golo Kante.
The geezer that owns the league just asked Benzema what team he wants to play for. You pick some.
The best one, please.
It was reported that they offered Messi £1 billion to come and play in the league, and he turned it down.
Yeah, I just don't think he wanted to play in the same league as Ronaldo again.
Yeah.
Offer me £1 billion, I'll do pretty much anything.
Well, he's off to Inter Miami, isn't he?
Yeah, well,
who are bottom of the fucking table.
What apparently is going to happen with that? They're going to loan him back to Barcelona or something.
No,
like that.
I think that rumour died, mate.
There
was a load of that floating about, but it's pretty much dead in the water. That's not happening.
Talking about goats, there is no comparison really. One's playing at top level football, and one is playing in America that is bang average as fuck. See, they sort of made like a Masters League again in America, where they played like a load of like 5-a-side teams. They had like
that was brilliant. Like coming up to Christmas, remember that Masters football?
Yeah, and they sort of done it in America. I don't know why. There's like Wrexham hashtag
Sunday afternoon.
I know where you're going with this, Cam, and I'm trying to segue off very quickly before Moore gets to cut some more.
No, I'm just not going anywhere.
Mate, this episode's going to be about half hour at this rate. Either way, you keep fucking going.
I was just asking if you've seen it.
He's segueing onto Wrexham men beating the US women 24-2.
Yeah.
I thought it was 12-0.
No, that was a half time, mate.
I wasn't actually going on to. I was just just asking if you've seen any of it because.
I don't know if that was actually the score. I just see something.
The only part of that game I saw was that rancid, morbidly obese, cuntly trundle there.
Like, whatever happened to Masters football was brilliant.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Sunday evening.
Bring it back.
Sky Sports 4 was on or something ridiculous. Like
Thingy sort of started it, hasn't he? Who's got the Spanish league? The Spanish old players. Is it Puyol? Is it PK? The started one. So one of the players has to wear a mask because he still plays in La Liga, and the rule is if you're a La Liga player, you're not allowed to play. So he has to wear like a mask, like he's a WWE superstar.
No idea, but Sky Sports should just get on it, mate. Like, you remember like watching it growing up, and you didn't know half of them because obviously it was like the 2000 and the legends. But imagine now, fucking Paul Scholes rolling back the years like he did
Sucking his daughter's toes. What?
like he did in, like he did in Soccer. Did anyone watch that at the weekend?
No, I didn't.
No,
It was horrific.
They were talking. I see highlights of like Ben Foster in goal. It's like, we should mark up the goalkeepers because it's in. I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. So everyone was here cunt and fucking racial slurs every other fucking ball. And we're just going.
Who played in Soccer Aid this year?
Trunks, I think. I can't remember.
Chunks.
Wilshere was playing.
Yeah,
Wilshere.
dog shit. Roy Keane, no, not Roy Keane. Robbie Keane, Jermaine Defoe.
Robbie Keane looks like he could still play now, mate.
Oh, he's a baller, mate. Rolling back the years with that finish. I don't know, mate. There's a couple of names.
That's what I mean. Like, you could easily put together some real decent teams and roll it back. I'd just pay to see Patrick Vieira and Roy Keane go out again.
Oh, mate.
There's like clips of them from like Sky Sports still not talking, like when they're off the air. They proper hate each other.
And they forced him to do an interview together, didn't they?
The best one's just like when I think Man United get battered like last season, and he's like, I just want to show some passion. He's like, just crunch someone, hit someone to make yourself feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fucking brilliant.
Fucking hell. Well, diverting ourselves back onto football transfers, I think the only other two that come off the top of my mind are Alexis McAllister to Liverpool.
Great signing.
Brilliant
Price
signing
tag.
for 35 million.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's a good signing. I don't think he's as good as he's being made out, but will he improve Liverpool? Yes.
The midfield especially, yeah.
I think it's more for the price tag that they've got him at as well. It's not a 78 million pound player. It's a 35,
But that's how Liverpool do their business. I mean, they are very coy. That's why they pulled out of the Bellingham deal.
They just have 11 grown players because, football's dead when Man City won a treble because Liverpool have never spent money in their life, mate. They haven't spent stupid money on an absolute flop Portuguese winger, but,
And then the other one being was Yuri Tielemans joined Aston Villa on a free.
Good on him, mate. Can a Leicester player,
Which is quite a crazy deal.
Well,
Did he actually?
Yeah, he's agreed to go to Villa.
Because he doesn't want to uproot his family. Apparently that's why.
Have you not seen it? No.
He's from Belgium. He's already uprooted his family.
Yeah, but he's been like 4 years at Leicester now. So I'm not. That's what he's come out and said. Look, me and Tielemans, we're not like that. Yeah, we're a bit like this, but not like that.
Leave them in Leicester.
Oh, leave them? Fucking hell, Joel.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus, mate. Fucking hell.
It just seems weird. The people that he was linked with.
That seems weird.
Was he not linked with Barcelona?
Yeah, but do you really want to be going to Barcelona? I just told you he didn't want to uproot his family. He's not going to move country, Joe, was he?
Well, he already has. He's from Belgium.
But he doesn't play in Belgium anymore. He's happy. They speak like, oh yeah, we're going short.
What's that?
What the fuck was that?
Why did you turn into a leprechaun?
It's a great signing.
Yeah, brilliant signing. I can't believe he's gone to Villa.
Apparently,
It's quite a coup.
James Maddison's off to Newcastle as well. Go past the fucking.
Well, Newcastle are targeting Maddison at the moment.
They've wanted him for ages, haven't they?
Yeah.
He's a good player.
Apparently Spurs are the other team that are interested, but I think he'll end up. You would imagine, unless he doesn't want to uproot his family.
fucking up review in a minute, mate.
Oh, good one.
Lack of ambition, really, isn't it?
Well, Villa are on the up, Leicester aren't.
Yeah, but Villa aren't. Look, fair enough. Villa are on
They're
the
in the Conference League, mate. Why have you know it's a massive European honour?
They've got a chance.
Oh, yeah, they're probably going favourites, can you imagine? With good evening. Can't argue against him. Love to see him, mate. Would love to see Villa win another European honour.
So Southampton are asking for 50 million for Ward-Prowse.
Southampton's still talking. That's a club that could go down and down, mate, and just keep going down. Lack of care for them.
Yeah, I can't see him getting 50 million.
See him get 5, mate. I'll give him 5 quid.
Does Ward-Prowse strike you as the kind of player to, cause a problem to get himself out of the club? I think they may be leaning on the fact that he's maybe a bit, entrenched in the club, good-natured. He doesn't feel like the kind of player that's going to force a move.
Which is like a week later.
Yeah. 50 million seems big, like.
No, exactly. I think the last time we saw a club get relegated and get big money for a player was probably when Wijnaldum left Newcastle to go to Liverpool for I think it was a fee of 25 million at the time.
Big fucking.
Well, there's talk about Harvey Barnes, isn't there? I think he's linked to Villa as well.
He's linked to West Ham, so it'd be good signing, old Harvey. Shit name, but
Leicester, it'd be interesting to see what they do because they've a lot of players out of contract. That Sayoglu or whatever his name is, the centre back. A lot of players that I don't think want to play Championship football. I see earlier that Castagne or something is linked with Arsenal as well. Apparently, they just want to stack left backs. Although Castagne, is he a left back or is he a right back? I don't even know.
He's a right back, Castagne.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, so
makes a little bit more sense then.
Yeah, because otherwise, then I think you could. If I was Kieran Tierney, then I'd be concerned.
He's out the door anyway.
Yeah, he's up to Newcastle, mate.
Yeah, 30 million apparently.
30 million.
Apparently.
It's a great signing for Newcastle, in fairness.
If they can keep him fit.
Yeah.
That's the big question mark over KD. Can you keep him fit? If you can, brilliant player. But if recent exploits tell you that they'll struggle to do that.
Mhm. Yeah. And it seems like we're gonna have like a fucking cock-teasing summer for Cardiff as well. Already, Aaron Ramsey's name has been thrown into the hat as Bale's name was last season. Like,
at this point,
I'm not falling for this shit anymore.
Do you actually even want him?
If I'm honest.
What is he now?
Nah, he's like
Midfielder?
33, 34.
Is he that young still? I thought he was older than that. Maybe then. I thought he was getting that sort of 35, 36 model, but...
But again, it's the similar case as it is with Tierney, if you can keep him fit.
Yeah, and that league, like, people will be going through him. Yeah, I don't know. It was, like you said, the same with the Bale thing. Ramsey, I think, is a wee bit more plausible.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, bit of a sick note. It'd have to be managed in the right way. You want him for the big games, but probably don't want to be risking him at Rotherham away.
I mean,
exactly.
Depending what season Cardiff have, every game's a big game. Might be down at the bottom again.
Well, I mean, it depends on what Errol Bullock can do with Cardiff, really, and just see who he can bring in the summer under the circumstances we're under. And I mean, yeah, it'd be brilliant to have Aaron Ramsey as a homecoming player. We haven't had it since Craig Bellamy when he came back to the club, and so like it'd be nice to have him for a year, and for him to see out his career, perhaps. But again, like, will he improve the team that we have at the moment? Maybe, like I said, if he stays fit and he gets a good run of games, which is highly unlikely in the Championship this day and age. So, yeah, there's a lot of rides on it, and
I think he improves the team massively.
Well,
Even just to be around a player that's played in Premier League, World Cups, and all that for the experience of youth players.
yeah, no,
It's
100%.
it's good mentality to have at the club. He'll improve it in that way, but you probably won't get like more than 10 or 15 games out of him, really.
It'd be good to have like a good creative number 10 there as well. Just sticking behind Robbo or Atete and just, allow him to...
I don't think, realistically, if you can get him on a free and the wages aren't stupid, I don't think it's a disservice to Cardiff. I think it'd be a positive.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, there's still speculation as to whether or not he will stay at Nice or they'll look to move him on, and so that's really why his name's been thrown into the hat. But again, it's just a similar situation with Bale last year. Obviously, Bale was going to be a lot more ambitious attempt to try and lure him to Cardiff, where he hadn't really had any... I mean, yeah, he's born in Cardiff, but he's never played for the club whatsoever, whereas Ramsey has come up through the academy there. So there is that sense of attachment there with the club. So...
Yeah.
But I have to wait and see. But by all means, it's just again getting so excited last season with the Bale situation.
Probably one of those ones where you go, if we get him, okay, but if we get him, oh well. If we don't, then oh well.
Exactly.
With the wages that you'd be paying him, you'd imagine he'd probably come in as the highest earner.
Mm.
And
yeah,
you've seen the likes of the business that likes like Bristol City have done with whatever his name is, Alex Scott, is it, or
yeah,
what he is. There's players out there that can really come in and take a football club up for probably the wages that you would pay Aaron Ramsey. But at the same time, if you could get him fit and firing, then obviously it would, they said improve the team. But it's that big if, as it is with so many players. Can you keep him fit? Can you keep him on the pitch long enough over the course of a season to have a meaningful impact?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so yeah, it's one of those where we'll have to wait and see what takes place. But and on that note, we're going to wrap things up. Well, I'm pretty sure next week is going to be our season finale. We've got something in the works for you, ladies and gents.
And going off of my quizzing ability, you know where I'll be finishing.
Well, we'll just make sure there's no question that involves Hakimi being the answer.
Unless it's divorce and his missus, and I'll bang on that.
How did he get around divorce? He put all his assets at his mum's name. Smart boy.
Oh, boys, pleasure as always. Thank you very much for joining me this evening.
Pleasure, man.
Always.
Ladies and gents, thank you all for tuning in. You can find all episodes on good audio platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts and Audible. If you'd like to catch all the live recordings, head on over to our YouTube channel at The Football Booth. And whilst you're over there, drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and ring that bell for notifications. And until next week, ladies and gents, I bid you all good night and a star.